Hello again. Happy February. Great to see that you're still reading the newsletter. For this month's question comes from Oswaldo Acosta, the amazing executive director of City First Enterprises, a CDFI located here in DC. And his question is, has the pandemic changed the rules of capital raising? If so, what's the new game? Early in COVID, yes, the pandemic had definitely changed the rules of capital raising. And that new rule was, if you were a first-time fund manager, don't even bother. If you didn't already have relationships with LPs, it was actually just going to be very, very difficult. In industry webinars that were given in March and April, everyone was talking about the flight to quality, which generally means, focusing on more experienced investors, which unfortunately tends to mean focus toward white investors. Obviously, there was a bit of a shift over the summer with the death of George Floyd, and there were lots of pledges made to Black and other people of color entrepreneurs and fund managers. So we did get to see a bit of a shift, at least in terms of the words that were applying to the game of fundraising. What I think LPs ultimately learned was that the virtual world is actually not a bad one. You can still form relationships. You can still get to know people. Some LPs actually still are not really committing capital because this meeting people in this format is still uncomfortable for them, but some of them are. You can find information about that online, certainly, particularly if you have access to additional data sources like Prekin and PitchBook. But ultimately, I think the key here is that there's an opportunity to change the game. We've got enhanced networking. Now that we're in this virtual space, we don't have to travel as much. So if you're at an industry conference, for example, you can then go to a breakout room and meet LPs that way. There's folks who, like myself, are starting communities with my Emerging Manager Roundtable, the next of which is on March 3rd. At 12:30 p.m. Eastern. It will be in the first Wednesday of every month. Ultimately, this also gives us the opportunity to increase communication. Limited partners love over communication and transparency. And ultimately, I think it gives us a really creative way to build trust amongst each other. Since, I have clients who I've actually not met with in person. We've actually only been able to see each other virtually due to not traveling. But this has still been a really creative way for us to gain trust in terms of having weekly Zoom meetings, shooting each other an email or a text message whenever we have a question. So once again, the COVID age has provided us with opportunities. So what started as don't even bother has now become, it's actually worth a shot. Well, I don't see why not. So till next month, see you soon.